Paulino Alcantara is the Philippines' greatest ever player. He's a Barcelona legend and was the club's greatest ever goal scorer until Lionel Messi broke his record in 2014. With that being said, Alcantara remains their youngest ever debutant and their youngest ever goal scorer, aged just 15 years old. And today, we are replaying the career of Paulino Alcantara in Football Manager 2024 to simulate how he might have done if he was playing today. So if you actually look at Barcelona, it's pretty interesting because Paulino Alcantara is considered one of Barcelona's icons. I don't know if you guys can see this down here in the icons section, but Paulino Alcantara is there. So these are the standards that our current player is going to be up against. Can we make a new Paulino Alcantara playing today who can be in this icons list with the OG? And this is the player that we have created. Paulino Alcantara, born October 7th, but now 2007. Age just 15 years old. This is the same age that he was when he made his in real life Barcelona debut. Of course, though, in that match, he actually scored a hat trick on his Barcelona debut. So we're going to see what's going to happen this time around. So I've done my best to recreate Alcantara almost exactly and at the level he was at the time. So he's playing in the forward positions predominantly as a striker, but he can also play anywhere along the attacking line. I've also made him left-footed just as he was in real life. And, with the similarities, very similar to Lionel Messi, a small, kind of thin, left-footed forward player who's hopefully going to burst onto the scene. As far as his attributes look like, I have made him pretty decent, but I've made him at a similar level. So if we look at the editor here, I've made him a 140 current ability player. These are similar to the levels that we've seen from Gavi and Pedri, Lamine Yamal, who have all burst onto the scene at Barcelona. So I wanted to make him of a similar level to them to make it sort of realistic of what Alcantara would have looked like coming into the first team out of La Masia and out of the Barcelona Academy. And if he was coming through as part of this younger generation of Barcelona Academy players. Everything else I've tried to mold just as kind of he was in real life. His height and weight tier are what I was able to find online. So he's 5'7", 123 pounds, kind of small and kind of thin as well. But everything else here should be true to life. He had excellent finishing. Even as a young player, he scored 3 goals on his debut and burst onto the scene. So he has very good finishing. He was also noted as being a good dribbler and being very good technically. So he has good dribbling, good first touch, good technique. He also has the player traits shoot with power. I don't know if you guys can see that because it might be covered by my face, but I've given him the player trait of shoots with power. He was known for his powerful shot. He was known for banging it into the net. The stories say that his shot was so powerful that he once shot it and it broke through the net, and that there was a police officer standing kind of close to the goal and he shot it and hit the police officer, and both officer and ball ended up in the net. So we've given him the shoots with power trait. As a result, we've also given him decent long shots. We've given him some decent mentals as well. He was known for having high determination, good flair, and good off the ball. He was also known for being a hard worker, so we've got all that on here too. He wasn't super aggressive, so things like defensive attributes such as aggression, marking, and tackling are all very low. He was supposedly trialed at the fullback positions and didn't do very well there, so it stands that he wouldn't be very good at those things. And just as in real life, he supposedly had good pace, so we've given him some decent pace as well. But otherwise, this is what our 15-year-old Paulino Alcantara looks like. Very similar as far as ability is concerned to the young Barcelona players coming through, and of how he was at the time. I mean, even at 15 years old, he was starting for Barcelona. He was helping lead them to Catalan football championships. So it stands to reason that at 15, he would be a very good player. And all of that being said, Paulino Alcantara is here with a young Barcelona squad, if we sort by age here. I will say also, if you see agreed playing time star player, that's because I just transferred him over. I had to create him in the Philippines so that he would be Filipino, and then come over and add him to Barcelona. So this is why the agreed playing time is weird. That will change throughout the season. But he's with a very young Barcelona team that I think he could grow with here. We see players like Lamine Yamal, obviously, Vitor Roque, Gavi, Pedri, Fermin, Alejandro Balde, even Ansu Fati is still on the team at this point. So it'll be interesting to see if Paulino Alcantara can break into the team with the rest of these young players, and if maybe they can grow together and create a new golden generation. Alcantara was part of Barcelona's first ever golden generation. He helped lead them to 10 Catalan football championships and 5 Copa del Reys. And he kind of has Lionel Messi vibes, a young, left-footed forward with good dribbling and finishing, bursting through the Barcelona squad and coming up through their ranks. So we're going to see if our now created player can do the same. So that being said, Alcantara here, no appearances, but 15 years old. Let's see what he can do. We're going to go forward one season, then we're going to go forward to the prime of his career, then we're going to go forward to the very last time we see him in the game. So that being said, let's go forward 1 year and see how Alcantara does in his first season. And here we are, Paulino Alcantara after season 1, a really, really good season. 19 league appearances, 8 goals, 1 assist, and a 7.18 overall rating. He had a phenomenal season. Looking at his total statistics down here, again, it looks like it was 11 starts actually. That's decent with 8 goals. He played 3 times in the cup and got 2 goals. Continental competitions, 2 goals and 4 appearances. So overall, 12 goals for the season. I think that's pretty decent. Looking at Alcantara at this point, it looks like he's developing nicely at just 16 years old. He's looking really good. He is a 155 current ability, so he's gone up about 15 current ability points. That suggests he is going to be a really good player. That being said, though, not enough to lead Barcelona to the title at this point. They did finish second, unsurprisingly, behind Real Madrid. Looking through Barcelona's schedule here, they actually had a really good start to the league. Champions League looks like they made it to the Super Cup semifinal and lost in the Spanish Cup 4th round, and they did not make it past the round of 16 in the Champions League. So and Paulino Alcantara missed a penalty in the shootout. I'm surprised he was taking one at such a young age. But not a great season for Barcelona. But let's see, when did Alcantara score his first goal? So I'm assuming this would have been later on in the season. So just looking through here, Lamine Yamal playing, but I don't see Alcantara yet. Still going through, and there's the first time we see an Alcantara. It was in the Champions League. His first ever goal for Barcelona was in the Champions League against Arsenal. Then after that, he played again against Cadiz, and he scored in the 4th minute. So we didn't get the same burst onto the scene as Alcantara had in real life, when, of course, he scored a hat-trick on his debut, became the youngest ever hat-trick scorer as well. But overall, a really good start to his career at Barcelona. Well, here we are 1 year into the future. Let's move forward into his prime. We're going to go forward 12 years. I want to see him at 28 years old when Alcantara is in his prime. So we're going to move forward to 2036, and let's see what our Filipino is looking like then. And we are on July 2nd, 2036. We have a 28-year-old Alcantara, and my oh my, does he look brilliant. What an absolutely phenomenal player. Surely he has reached his potential ability. Recommended current ability 194, current ability 198. He is following in the path of Lionel Messi. What an absolutely brilliant player. I mean, anyone would, wow, what an amazing player. For the Philippines as well. Looks like he's played for the Philippines 92 international appearances and 126 goals. We will look at his Filipino career at the end of this experiment, but right now he looks phenomenal. Still just like the player trait, shoot with power, But it looks like he's actually gained a bit of weight. He's no longer 123 pounds. He's now 145 pounds. It's interesting to see that that can actually change in Football Manager. But his physical attributes have come through nicely. His mental attributes are brilliant. His technical attributes are brilliant. And how has that changed with his goals and assist numbers? He looks phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. After that, that's his worst. 8 goals in the season is his worst season. The following season, 23, 27, 22. Like 6 seasons straight, he had 20-goal seasons, and then 15 dropped off a little bit. But after that, again, he's been absolutely brilliant. In total, he has 391 league appearances, 270 goals, and 51 assists, 7.42 overall rating. Yeah, he's been amazing. We will look at his major milestones so far, but let's just look at his competitions. So he has won La Liga Champions League runner-up here, but La Liga Champions League runner-up again. Has he won the Champions League yet? Super Cup, and he did Club World Championship, UEFA Champions League winners, Spanish Cup and Spanish Super Cup so far that 2029 season. And that 2029 season is the best. He has won Champions League, a couple of Champions League runner-ups, unfortunately, and a La Liga title. So he has been very good, very successful team-wise. It also looks like he's been Spain's top goal scorer on a number of occasions. He won it in 35-36, 34-35. So he won it 4 times in 5 years here. He also won it in 29-30, 27-28. Wow, he's won it so many times. So it looks like he would have won it as a 16-year-old or 17-year-old in the second season. And ever since then, he's just been on an absolute tear. He has been Spain's top goal scorer quite a few times. He was the runner-up for the Ballon d'Or this past season, although Lamine Yamal had a 7.7 average rating. I don't think that you can really complain about that. But looking at previous Ballon d'Ors, he did win it in 2029, 2030, ahead of Jude Bellingham and Erling Haaland, as well as 28-29. So he was a back-to-back Ballon d'Or winner. And those are the only 2 times that he has won the Ballon d'Or. But a 2-time Ballon d'Or winner for Paulino Alcantara. You feel like if it was in real life, he might have won a few more than that too. While in the prime of his career, Paulino Alcantara is an absolute legend. But he hasn't won a whole lot with Barcelona so far. Just the one La Liga title, just the one Champions League. We are going to move forward to the end of his career now. He's still in his prime. And we have a young Barcelona team here. If we look at the squad, it is still a lot of those players. We have Lamine Yamal. I just realized he's wanted. He's wanted by Spurs. Don't go to Spurs. Stay at Barcelona. But we have Lamine Yamal still here. We have Gavi still here. We have Balde still here. Noah Darvic. So there are a lot of those good young players who at the beginning of the game all growing together here. Can they create a golden generation, win some Champions Leagues? We're going to move forward to the end of Alcantara's career, and let's see how we are able to conclude this experiment. Welcome back. We are in 2047, and we have just seen Paulino Alcantara retire. I will go back 1 season so we can look at his overall stats. But before we do that, let's see what we've got here. So the big thing is here, 678 league appearances and 435 goals for Barcelona. And looking down here, he won a lot. He had 35 first place trophies and 10 second place. So this is what we've got. We're going to go back 1 season so we can see everything about him, and we'll come back to this screen at the end. I will tell you what, even at 37 years old and at the end of his career, Paulino Alcantara, now only an impact sub at Barcelona, and for just 2.6 million to 7.8 mil, he still looks absolutely phenomenal. Those physicals have definitely gone down, but he is still brilliant, still 159 current ability. But how did he look throughout the rest of his career? Definitely fell off goal scoring wise in the past few seasons. We're not seeing those 20 goal a season totals, but still really high average ratings. I mean, still above 7. But again, we saw what he had over the course of his career. But he had a 7.42 average rating, 99 assists, 82 player of the match awards. Absolutely Amazing career statistics on his part. Also, he didn't go to Spurs. He stayed at Barcelona for the entirety of his career, so that is nice to see. But the big question we have is, what did Barcelona win? And we're already looking at La Liga here, and we can see in that last season, Barcelona won La Liga, only losing one match and finishing 1 point ahead of Real Madrid. We're looking at the past winners. Barcelona dominated. Wow, were they good? They had an absolute period of dominance from 2033-34 to 2044-45. It looks like they won, what is that, 10? 10 maybe La Liga titles. Paulino Alcantara must have been a huge part of that. We're going to need to see how many La Ligas he won. Did he beat the 10 Catalan football championships that Alcantara actually won in real life? Looking at the Copa del Rey, it looks like Barcelona were a little less successful here. It looks like this was more or less dominated by Real Madrid. But they won in 43-44, 39-40, 33-34, 32-33. So it looks like he did beat the 5 Copa del Reys that he won in real life. It looks like he won a few more during his time at Barcelona in game. But the big one is, how many Champions Leagues did they win? And I can already see they're the current holders, and I see 3 Champions Leagues over here. Past winners. Those were the 3 Champions Leagues that he won. They won in, oh, wow. So they won in 2028, 29. I think I must have missed that previously. But they beat Real Madrid in the Ferenc Puskás Arena. He played for Real Madrid. That would have been monumental. And then Real Madrid went and beat them twice. Real Madrid went to 4 Champions League finals in a row, winning 3 of them. And they got their revenge. Wow. And then moving forward, Barcelona beat United, Barcelona beat City, and most recently, they lost to Strasbourg but beat Bayer Leverkusen. Those 2 losses to Real Madrid must have hurt. But they still have, it looks like, 4 Champions League titles. I think he would be really happy with that. The last big thing that I want to see is, how many Ballon d'Ors did Paulino Alcantara win? So looking through here, he did not win it recently. Looks like his last win was in 2036-37. That was probably 1 year after we last saw him. No, we saw Lamine Yamal winning it last 2 seasons. So he had 1 Ballon d'Or there. He won 2 earlier. So he had 3 Ballon d'Ors total. I feel like he probably deserved more, but we can't complain with 3 Ballon d'Ors. And just looking through Barcelona's records here, of course, he was never going to beat Lionel Messi's record of most goals scored by a player with 474, albeit he did get pretty close to that. With that being said, I think the big thing that we're seeing here is he is, I don't know if you guys can see that down here at the bottom, the youngest ever Champions League goal scorer for Barcelona with 16 years, 32 days. So he was their youngest ever goal scorer, but the thing that I think we're really happy to see here is most league appearances by a player, Paulino Alcantara with 648. So our new FM regen has at least 1 major Barcelona record. But the big question here is, how accurate were we? How realistic might have this been? Could Paulino Alcantara, if he were regenerated now, actually do this? But remember, he is an icon of the club in Football Manager. If we scroll all the way down to the bottom here, we do see Paulino Alcantara as a Barcelona icon. And if we scroll up here, there it is. Our new player, Paulino Alcantara, is a Barcelona icon. I would say we've pretty successfully recreated him. Paulino Alcantara is an icon 2 times over for Barcelona. What an absolutely phenomenal career. The last thing you all might be wondering is, how did he do for the Philippines? And we can see here 98 caps and 127 goals. That comfortably makes him, actually, I think that makes him potentially the greatest international goal scorer of all time. I don't know what Cristiano Ronaldo's at the moment. But let's see how we did for the Philippines. So how did we do? Currently 86th in the world. Looking through their world rankings history around 2035, when he probably would have been at his peak, they got the 70th in world rankings. That is very high. That suggests they might have made a run in the Asian Cup potentially. So he must have done pretty well. That being said, I don't see any changes as far as honors are concerned. It's still just a two-piece cup. So they didn't win anything. That's not a huge surprise. He wasn't playing in Asia. He wouldn't have been available for a Southeast Asian championship or anything like that. So it's no surprise to see that we didn't win anything. But let's look through the schedule and see how we might have done for the Philippines. How far did we go in tournaments? Things like that. I also wanted to check real quick just to see our start and end timeline. So it looks like he retired from international soccer kind of early on, 12/28/2036. So this suggested he retired pretty early relatively in his career, while he was still kind of at his peak. But international debut was against Palestine on 10/11/2024. So that's where we will start our journey, and we'll move forward to December 28th, 2036. So this was his first match. It was in a friendly. After that, he actually scored in the next match against Hong Kong. So as we move forward here, a very Asian Cup qualifiers here, but it looks like we had a pretty good year in 2025. Alcantara getting a hat trick against Afghanistan. He must have been brilliant. Maybe he didn't play against Laos. North Korea, he got a goal there. East Timor, yeah, he's doing brilliant. 2026, not such a good year. Obviously didn't make the World Cup. 2027, Asian Cup. We made the Asian Cup, but we lost in the second round to Syria. Did he get a goal in the Asian Cup? He only got one goal against Kuwait. So he was still young, maybe not a great showing. There will be future Asian Cups as well. Looking forward to 2031, next Asian Cup. A much better group stage performance. Alcantara getting a hat trick against North Korea. Maybe a disappointing result against Kuwait. But Alcantara leading the team to victory over Uzbekistan, beating Australia. Whoa, that is a huge upset. He missed another penalty in a penalty shootout. But 2 goals from Alcantara. And we went forward on pens. That's a huge upset against Australia. We did eventually lose in the quarterfinals to Saudi Arabia. But an Asian Cup quarterfinal burst, that is brilliant. And I think the last one will be 2035 for the Asian Cups, where we lost in the quarters again. We had a phenomenal group. We beat Indonesia, Alcantara scoring. We tied Jordan, Alcantara scoring. We beat Saudi Arabia, Alcantara scoring again. Went through in pens against Oman, Alcantara scoring. And he actually scored in the shootout. But 7-3 and extra time against Iran. That is heartbreaking. And a match that Alcantara did not score in. And then looking forward to 2036, this is when he retired. It looks like we did not do well in World Cup qualifying. So maybe at this point he had kind of stopped playing. It looks like, yeah, 2036 he scored, but otherwise he was not playing a whole lot. I guess maybe when we got knocked out of World Cup qualifiers, that is when he decided to end his international career. Which is really, oh my word, we made the World Cup. He never got to play in the World Cup just 2 seasons later. I can't believe it. The Philippines made the World Cup and he was retired. And he didn't come out of retirement to play in the World Cup. Oh, we could have seen Alcantara lead the Philippines at the World Cup. But he retired before we got there and we got pummeled. Oh, what a huge shame that is. What a story that could have been. If Alcantara could have led the Philippines to the World Cup in 2038, but he never quite got there. And it looks like after that, we never really did anything. Oh, what a story that could have been. Well, that is the story of Paulino Alcantara in Football Manager 2024, finishing his career 678 Barcelona appearances with 435 goals. He wasn't able to match Lionel Messi's record for league goals, but he broke the record for most league appearances. And he had an absolutely phenomenal career, winning Champions Leagues, La Ligas, being the Philippines' greatest of all time, and becoming a Barcelona icon, just like Alcantara did in real life. And if you would like to learn more about the story of Paulino Alcantara in real life, that video is up on your screen now. Feel free to click on it if you would like to learn a little bit more about his career. But I'll see you all very soon. Bye!